I want to really play with this video because I'm working on some web content at the moment that's all about video marketing and developing a brand. And I thought it would be cool to talk about some of the keys that I'm sharing there, and then maybe use the video content that I'm making in the present moment to be an example, an embodiment of what I'm talking about. So the two first keys that I've decided are absolutely crucial that people understand if you're going to market a brand, and especially if you're going to be doing video marketing, is don't ever change, and I'll elaborate on that. And don't waste attention, and I'll elaborate on that as well. So what I mean by the first key is don't ever change. I mean, make sure you always give people what they click for. Like right now you're watching a video journal on my video journal channel. You know the drill, you know that what the content's going to be like. You might not necessarily know like the different topics that are going to show up and things like that, but it's the same format every time. It's just one stream of consciousness, a little window into my reality. So you know what to expect and you know what you're clicking on. And that's one of the simplest things that so many people get wrong. They go and make all this fantastical content. They spend heaps of money on like videos and creating this brand, but it's stuff that they're never ever going to continue to do. It's stuff that they're not going to embody, and it has nothing to do with who they are as an individual or as a business. So like this is a perfect example of doing that right now in the present moment. We're just recording another journal expressing what we're thinking and feeling, but we're also sharing like a video marketing strategy, which is a part of a much bigger picture, which is so fun. Like it's so fun to do this kind of inception idea within an idea within an idea. And yeah, I think the more predictable you can be, the better, which is really counterintuitive. Like if people know exactly what they're going to get when they click, we actually like that. And the examples that I've used on the website are like, there's a skin specialist in America, and I think her username on Instagram is like Dr. Pimple Popper, and it's just heaps of like really graphic videos of pimples getting popped. But like for whatever reason, it's like that people get like this weird sense of satisfaction watching it. So she's grown this this social media following and this huge presence that is obviously also linking all of these potential customers to her skincare through just giving people exactly what they click for. Like you don't have to have all these new ideas and fancy equipment and like make blockbuster movies or incredible documentaries or anything. You've just got to give people consistent content that they're interested in. And as soon as you've figured out the thing that you can do over and over again that people want to consume, you're done. Like it's actually way simpler than we're making it out to be. So you can do more complex stuff. Like on my main channel, we do documentaries and interviews, and it's more of a free creative expression, and maybe you don't so much know what you're going to get when you click. But that actually, it hinders your engagement and your reach, because not only do the individual people who are watching not know what they're going to get when they click, but the algorithms also wig out when people engage a lot with certain content and then you get no engagement on other content. So if you're posting content and it's not what people are clicking for, stop it. Like just focus on what you know people are going to click for and what people are going to be satisfied by when they click through. That's like a really key insight. And I've probably talked more than you even need to hear about that. Like it's so simple. Like just give people what they click for, your engagement will increase. The more engagement you get, the more impressions you're going to get, the more impressions you get, the more engagement you get, and it just goes around in a like really positive cycle and just feeds your social media following. And yeah, in the beginning it might seem a little bit slow because you might not have a lot of followers, but consistency is key. And even having like a dozen people who love every single post that you do that's the beginning of something. I would even go as far as to say is like, don't use your Instagram account or your YouTube account that you already have. Like, you're better off to start again from zero and just start with the intent, like, this is what the kind of content that I'm going to share, and be consistent with it and give people what they click for, and that will grow faster than using an established Instagram or YouTube that you've kind of been on the fence about and you didn't really know what you were doing, and then all of a sudden deciding this is the kind of content that I'm going to share. I think you're better off to start from zero and know exactly what you're doing, and don't ever change is the key. Like, just be consistent. Super counterintuitive. People want to try to be more engaging and more interesting and have all these different things going on, but it could be the simplest thing in the world, like that Dr. Pimple Popper, and just like pop pimples every single video. Hundreds, thousands of videos that are pretty much the same thing, but every time it comes up in the feed, the people that are into it just like have to watch it. They have to stop. It's so satisfying for them. And you can have different degrees of that. Like, I'm sure like for the video journals, it's not quite that much of a satisfaction where people like see it pop up and they're like, I have to watch this video journal. I have to stop what I'm doing and give 20, 30 minutes of my time and awareness to whatever's happening with Kai right now. But like, you don't have to be the most engaging thing in the world. You just have to be consistently engaging at whatever level you're at with your engagement. That's the key. And the other key was, don't waste attention. And it's actually probably 10 times more important than the first key. And I see everybody do it all the time. I even see people do it when they hire me to help them with their video marketing. And I tell them explicitly over and over again not to do this. And what I mean by don't waste attention is the first time that people click is going to be the time when they're the most curious and you have the most potential to really engage their attention. And after that, you'll be lucky if they ever click again. Like, most people are only going to click once, see what you're about, and then they're going to store a memory of like, yep, this is what Kai does, and they're going to go about their merry business and they're never going to think about me again. So how do you not waste attention? One simple thing you can do is make sure that you actually have a catalog of content ready for people to consume before you start inviting people to engage with what you're doing. So, you know, people make their first video, they get really excited, they want feedback, they want engagement, they want to know that they've done a good job, or they want to know if they need to improve or whatever. You just want some feedback and you want to get it happening. You want to make it feel like it's real. So you start putting your content out, like your first video. People click through and they go, yeah, cool, one video, not much going on here, and then they leave. So imagine how different it would be if somebody clicked through and there's like 100 videos. That's exaggerating, but that's like sort of what I did with this video journal channel. I didn't share any journals for a really long time, and part of that was just because I wanted to practice my communication skills, my public speaking, and develop myself. Like, I wasn't looking for any kind of engagement really. And I've done over 1,000 journals, and you know, 10% maybe are actually still public. But even like a dozen videos, I'd say at least a dozen videos or a dozen pieces of engaging, consumable content before you share one, before you start directing traffic towards your new thing that you're trying to share with the world. So like, because, you know, we all have social networks full of potential. All of these people are friends with you on Facebook or following you on Instagram, or like, you know, you have your established little community, whether it's friends and family or you're in these different groups and things. You have the opportunities there to reach people with your message, but if you waste your attention by sharing just one thing that you did, and it's not even very good because it's the first thing that you ever did. So that's a whole other side of it. Like, the more content that you create, the better it's going to be. And then maybe if you share the 50th piece of content that you make, it's going to be 50 times better than the first piece of content that you made. And then when people watch that, like, you share that particular piece and they click through and they see all this other stuff going on, they get much more of an idea of who you are, what you're doing, what's on the horizon for the future. And maybe they'll watch like 5 or 6 other things and they'll get very emotionally invested in the story. And it's also amazing for the algorithm, because now whatever social media platform you're on is going like, when people come here, they stay here, they stay invested, they stay engaged, and they stay interested. And social media platforms love that. That's how all of the algorithms, they feed off attention. So if you're going to get people's attention, you're going to get one shot pretty much. So don't waste it. That's like the second really big key and I'm just like I'm compiling all of these key insights that I've had from like 10 years of video marketing and putting it all together as another piece for my website, which is designed to inspire and empower as many people as possible to make their own impact on the world. So yeah, having a lot of fun with that, and now playing with this idea inside this idea inside this idea, and mixing all of these different pieces together. And I'll probably put this video on that page where I'm explaining these keys, so that people can also watch a video about it instead of reading, because some people engage more with written content, some people engage more with video content, some people would rather listen to a podcast, some people would rather just look at images, like they're into like visual representations of what's going on, you know. So finding your niche, finding the people that are actually going to engage, and then finding out how to turn your ideas into content that attracts potential customers, and then you can turn all of your ideas into income, and then you can turn that into freedom, and then you can create more beautiful things to share with the world that are going to make the world a better place, or, you know, whatever you want to do with your skills and abilities. If you got anything out of this at all, please click the like button for me, leave your comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, and check out the links in the description below, including the link to my website where all of this beautiful, amazing stuff is going to be waiting for you.